God says, Archangel Michael says this message is not ordinary. It is not something to glance at and then forget. It is not something to push away for later because there may not be a later. Heaven has whispered again and again, the Spirit has tugged at your heart, the angels have circled around you in the night, and yet you have been delaying, you have been second-guessing, you have been treating these warnings as if they were optional. Michael is not only speaking, he is pleading, and when Michael pleads it means that the situation is urgent beyond words. He has stood by your side through storms you never saw, through battles you never recognized, through betrayals that were hidden in silence, through dangers that were prepared against you in secret. Each time he defended you. Each time he fought for you. Each time he shielded you with wings of fire and light. But now he says with a trembling voice that you have not been listening, you have not been acting, you have ignored the signs when they came, you closed your heart when it was supposed to be open, and he cannot keep repeating forever. Michael's voice is heavy tonight, because he knows what happens when the final warning is ignored. He has seen the way human hearts delay until the last moment, and then the moment vanishes like smoke. He has seen the regret etched into souls who had a chance to escape but refused. He has seen tears that cannot be undone. And that is why he says if you skip this moment, if you ignore this message as if it were just words, if you scroll past as though it were not meant for you, then you will cry for the rest of your life, because this is not one of many, it is the last attempt to reach you in time. You have 10 seconds to decide whether you believe or whether you continue in blindness. 10 seconds to open your heart or close it forever. 10 seconds to choose heaven's covering or to walk away into a night where the angels will no longer interfere. He does not want to leave you. He has no desire to abandon you. But angels obey laws of heaven. When a soul repeatedly resists divine protection, there comes a point when heaven must let that soul walk by their own choice. That is what makes this moment so dangerous, so sacred, so sharp like a sword. God is watching even now, seeing how your heart responds. God says He is not forcing you, but He is showing you. He is revealing what was hidden. He is pulling back the curtain on the plans that were made against you. Someone, in their jealousy, in their greed, in their bitterness, prepared a snare for you, and you walked so close to it without even realizing. But each time you nearly stepped into it, Michael pushed it back, he cut the ropes, he broke the traps, he whispered to you in dreams and signs. You did not always recognize it was him. Sometimes you thought it was just a coincidence. Sometimes you thought it was your own imagination. But it was not imagination. It was Michael in battle armor, standing between you and the destruction that was set for you. But heaven is weary because you treat divine warnings like noise. You treat Michael's urgent cries like whispers you can ignore until tomorrow. And so he says now, if you skip, if you pretend again that this was just another message, then he will step back. He will let you see what it feels like when his shield is no longer covering you. And that is not because he wants to hurt you, but because he wants you to understand the weight of what is at stake. You may not realize it, but every blessing you carry, every breath of protection that followed you in danger, every unexpected escape you experienced, was tied to his obedience to guard you. To walk away from him now would be to walk into fire without knowing. God says, I am speaking because I love you. I am speaking because I chose you. I am speaking because you are not like everyone else. There are souls in this world who wander without care, who live without purpose, who can spend their days in distractions, but you are not one of them. Your life has meaning that shakes nations. Your destiny has light that exposes darkness. And that is why darkness has sent so many attempts to silence you, distract you, and confuse you. That is why so many strange things have happened around you that you could not explain. That is why you have felt watched when no one was there, why you have felt drained when no one touched you, why your nights have been restless when you tried to sleep in peace. Michael was battling in the unseen, but now he is saying that unless you take his word seriously, unless you make a choice now, he cannot keep carrying you against your will. This is not a threat. This is the last act of mercy. Heaven never abandons without warning. The Spirit never leaves without telling you the truth first. God always offers a chance before judgment. And that is what this is, the chance, the final opportunity, the moment where you either choose to open the door or keep it shut. And when God says you only have 10 seconds, it is not to frighten you but to wake you up. 10 seconds can change eternity. 10 seconds can determine whether you are covered by angels or exposed to the plans of enemies. 10 seconds can decide whether you cry with regret or rejoice with relief. Michael is serious. His tone is trembling. He is saying to you, I have loved you, I have defended you, I have spoken again and again, but you keep ignoring me. I am tired, and if you continue to resist, I will never speak to you again. Can you imagine silence from him? Can you imagine what it would be like if his voice, which has been your hidden rescue again and again, were cut off? Can you imagine walking into the next storm and realizing no angel was speaking to you anymore? That silence is unbearable, and that silence is what he warns will come if you harden your heart now. God says you may not understand everything that is happening, but you do not need to understand, you need to trust. Trust is the bridge between you and the miracle. Trust is the shield that activates heaven's armies. Trust is what allows Michael to keep fighting for you. Without trust, heaven's hands are tied. That is why the devil's greatest weapon is not power, it is doubt. Doubt weakens your agreement with God. Doubt makes you treat divine messages like ordinary words. Doubt makes you ignore what was sent to save you. But God says, crush doubt now. Cast it aside. Take the leap of faith because the leap is safer than staying where you are. Michael remembers the moment you almost gave up, when you whispered in your heart that no one was with you. He cried for you that night, because he was there but you could not see him. He remembers the time you were so close to disaster, when someone's words nearly destroyed you, but he shielded your mind so the poison did not sink in fully. He remembers the accident that almost happened but did not, the betrayal that almost broke you but could not, the sickness that almost consumed you but left because healing angels touched your body. He remembers, and he wants you to remember too, because if you see how faithful heaven has been, you will not throw away this moment now. The Spirit is rising within you now, stirring your heart, because deep down you know this is for you. This is not random. This is not for someone else. It is your name that was spoken. It is your destiny that is at risk. It is your soul that heaven is reaching for. God says, do not harden your heart. Do not treat this like noise. Do not delay. Delay is the enemy's weapon to rob you of your inheritance. Delay makes you think there will be another time. Delay makes you think tomorrow is safe. But tomorrow is not promised. What is promised is now. What is certain is this moment. Michael is calling. God is calling. The angels are surrounding you. Even now, heaven is watching to see how you will respond. Will you open your heart, or will you shut it again? Will you take the step, or will you delay until the chance is gone? Remember, if you skip, you will cry for the rest of your life, not because God wants you to, but because regret is the natural fruit of ignoring grace. And once Michael stops speaking, once his voice goes silent, there may not be another chance. This is your moment. This is your 10 seconds. This is your chance to change everything. Heaven is serious, Michael is serious, and God Himself is saying, choose now. God says, Archangel Michael is standing before you, and his voice is trembling with urgency. He says, you do not realize how serious this is. He has been calling you, warning you, whispering into your spirit, trying to shake you awake, but you keep delaying, you keep pushing it aside, you keep pretending it can wait until tomorrow. He is telling you now, there is no tomorrow for this decision. He is telling you with deep sorrow, if you keep ignoring Him, the time will pass and you will cry for the rest of your life. His words are not empty threats. They are the tears of a warrior angel who has protected you from storms you did not even see, who has fought in realms you cannot imagine, who has stood with his sword drawn to guard you against things that would have devoured you in seconds. He is saying, he is tired of being ignored, tired of being treated as though his warnings are games, tired of speaking and watching you brush it off as though it were nothing. He is telling you, this is not a game. He is telling you, you have only 10 seconds to choose, and those 10 seconds matter more than 10 years of your life. He says, if you skip this, if you turn away again, He will never speak to you again, He will withdraw, He will leave you to walk in silence, and the silence will break you. The heavens are echoing with the sound of his cry. The angels surrounding you can feel his anguish, because he has never spoken with such finality. They know he has stood by you when you did not even deserve it. He has defended you when your own choices nearly destroyed you. He has stood before God and begged for mercy on your behalf, even when you wasted time, even when you ignored prayer, even when you turned your heart cold. And yet he never gave up, until now he is saying, he is ready to give up because you are ignoring him one more time. He is saying, his patience is ending. He is saying, you do not understand the storm that is seconds away from falling on you, the storm that will crush everything you love if you keep closing your eyes. He says, he cannot keep shielding you if you refuse to listen. His sword grows heavy, not because he cannot fight, but because your silence ties his hands. He says, he is warning you for the last time, and if you keep ignoring, you will walk into darkness and you will cry, not for a day, not for a week, but for the rest of your life. God says, do you not understand how close you are to losing what you love? Do you not realize how many traps have already been set around you? Archangel Michael has stood between you and the destroyer more times than you will ever know. He says, he has seen the schemes written with your name, he has heard the whispers in the night where others plotted to see you fall, he has crushed enemies that tried to crawl into your dreams, he has scattered darkness that was meant to choke you in your sleep. And still you doubted that his presence was real. Still you delayed. Still you thought you had more time. He says, there is no more time. Heaven is done waiting. The countdown is here, and every second is echoing in eternity. He is telling you now, if you do not listen, if you do not act, if you let this message pass like another word on another day, then you will seal your own silence. You will seal your own loss. He says, the regret will haunt you in ways you cannot even imagine. Archangel Michael says, when you wake in the night and feel the heaviness pressing on your chest, that was not imagination, that was not fear, that was him pushing back the shadows that came to steal your breath. He says, when you escaped that accident that should have killed you, it was his sword that cut away the hand of death. He says, when you walked into a place where enemies surrounded you and you felt strangely protected, that was not chance, that was his shield wrapping you in divine protection. And yet, despite all of this, you keep ignoring, you keep doubting, you keep acting like his warnings are optional. He says, they are not optional. They are life and death. He says, you only have 10 seconds, because eternity does not wait. The door is either open or it is shut. The angels cannot keep waiting at a door you refuse to unlock. He says, you must choose now, and if you delay, the silence will be permanent. God says, you have cried in secret, thinking no one heard you, but Archangel Michael was there. He heard. He carried those tears to heaven and placed them before the throne. He pleaded on your behalf, he said, this soul is worth protecting, this soul is worth saving, this soul cannot be abandoned. And heaven agreed, again and again, because his voice was strong. But now his voice is trembling, because you keep pushing him away. He is saying, if you keep resisting, he will no longer be able to intercede for you. He will withdraw his cry, and heaven will let you walk the path you are choosing. Do you not realize that without his intercession, the attacks that were blocked will come crashing down? Do you not realize that the battles you never saw will finally touch your life? He is telling you with tears, do not ignore him again. He says, this is the last time he will plead with you. You think you have tomorrow, but Michael says tomorrow is not promised. You think you can wait, but Michael says the trap is already set. You think you can ignore this voice, but Michael says, if you ignore it, the silence will be deafening. He says, you do not understand how empty it feels when the angel who once stood with you walks away. He says, you do not understand how vulnerable you will be when his sword is no longer drawn for you. He says, you cannot comprehend how dark it is when his shield no longer covers you. He says, you will cry, and your tears will not call him back. He says, he is serious. He says, he is tired. He says, you are forcing him to leave when all he wants is to stay. He says, you are pushing him away, and he is begging you with his last breath, do not do this. God says, this is your moment. The angels are watching. Heaven is recording your decision. Michael says, if you open your heart now, if you stop ignoring, he will not leave, he will fight harder, he will shield stronger, he will protect deeper than ever before. He says, the blessings you are waiting for are already prepared, but they cannot be delivered if you shut your heart. He says, the doors you keep praying for cannot open if you refuse to act. He says, the miracles that have your name cannot manifest if you keep delaying. He says, you only have 10 seconds, because heaven cannot wait while you wander in circles. He says, he loves you, but love cannot force you. He says, the choice is yours, but the consequence is eternal. He says, if you ignore this, you will never hear his voice again, and that silence will echo louder than thunder. Archangel Michael says, he has tried every way to reach you. He has spoken in dreams. He has whispered in your spirit. He has sent signs that you ignored. He has stirred your heart when you walked by danger. He has sent people to confirm the message, but you still doubted. He says, this is the final message, the final cry, the final warning. He says, if you do not act, the heavens will close this chapter forever. He says, he will never speak to you again. He says, he cannot keep begging someone who will not listen. He says, you have 10 seconds. He says, time is already gone, and your soul is at the edge of decision. God says, hear him. Do not harden your heart. Do not push away the one who has guarded you with every breath. Michael says, his sword is in his hand, but he cannot hold it much longer. His shield is above you, but it grows heavy. He says, the enemies that hate you are waiting for him to leave. They are waiting for the silence. They are waiting for the moment you ignore one last time. He says, if you give them that moment, they will not wait, they will strike, and you will feel the pain you never thought possible. He says, he is trying to save you from that, but he cannot save you if you refuse. He says, your decision is now. He says, he is very serious. He says, he has never been this serious. He says, his tears are real. He says, heaven is listening to what you decide. He says, if you skip this, if you ignore, if you pretend this is nothing, then the silence will begin. And once it begins, it will never end. He says, you will cry for the rest of your life because you will know you pushed away the only one who fought for you when no one else did. He says, you will know you lost the voice that carried your tears to heaven. He says, you will know, and the knowing will break you. God says, choose now. Archangel Michael says, 10 seconds. That is all. God says, Archangel Michael says, I am speaking with great urgency because your spirit is standing in the middle of a divine decision. Heaven has waited and waited for you to listen, but every time the voice of the divine tried to touch your heart, you turned away, doubting, questioning, ignoring, and pretending that it was not meant for you. I, Michael, the Archangel of God, have been sent as the shield of protection over your life, as the one who wages war in heaven and on earth for the souls who are marked by God's light. And yet I must tell you something you have never heard before in such seriousness. If you ignore this message again, I will step away, and you will feel the silence of heaven in a way that will make you cry for the rest of your life. The Father of all creation has given me charge over you, and I have been circling around your spirit for years, protecting you from destruction that you did not even see. Every arrow that was shot against you, every plan of darkness that was drawn against your life, I was the one who stood in front of it, breaking the curse, turning away the knife, silencing the whisperer, and guarding the path. Do you not see how many times you escaped death? Do you not realize how many times your own tears almost drowned you, but a sudden unseen force lifted you up again? That was me. I have been your companion when you thought you were abandoned. I have been your defender when you thought no one was fighting for you. But now my heart weeps, because I am bound by the word of the Lord. I am not allowed to chase forever one who keeps ignoring heaven's call. And so, this is your moment of decision, and you are down to seconds, not hours, not days. You think you have time, but I am telling you, you do not. Heaven has declared 10 seconds, because that is how short the line of choice is now. In this moment, you either open your heart, or you shut it forever. And if you close it, you will not only lose my voice, you will lose the covering that has kept you safe until now. I am tired, not in the way of human weakness, but in the way of divine patience reaching its limit. I have spoken through dreams, through sudden thoughts, through whispers that came like thunder to your soul, but you dismissed them as imagination. I have written your name in the winds and tried to get your attention through strangers, through repeated signs, through warnings that came at the edge of danger, but you said, "It is nothing." And so, what will you say now, when I am speaking directly, without parable, without disguise? Will you ignore again? Will you act as though heaven does not know why? God says, this message is not an ordinary message, it is a divine intervention that has been sent into your path at this exact moment. Archangel Michael himself is speaking with urgency because he has been watching you ignore the repeated signals, the repeated nudges, the repeated moments where heaven was trying to pull you back into alignment with your destiny. He is not speaking in gentleness now, because the time for patience is running out. Heaven does not waste words, and when Michael says you have only seconds to decide, it is because the window for your miracle is that fragile, that close, that urgent. You must understand that your life is being written in this very moment, that the course of your destiny is shifting according to the choice you make right now, whether you will open your heart to what God is asking or whether you will dismiss it once again. God is sending this message as a final call to awaken your spirit, to let you know that you are not forgotten, you are not abandoned, you are not unloved. You have been fought for, defended, carried, and protected even when you thought you were utterly alone. Michael says you have been ignoring his voice, and yet he has never stopped protecting you. Every time you were seconds away from disaster, he stood in between you and the destroyer. Every time you were surrounded by betrayal, he shielded your heart so you would not be crushed completely. Every time you were tempted to end your own story, he whispered hope into your weary spirit. But he is weeping now, because though he has done all this for you, you continue to dismiss the urgency of his call. He is tired of your delay, tired of your unbelief, tired of the way you treat his words as though they were nothing more than passing thoughts. He says if you continue to ignore him, he will no longer speak, and the silence that follows will feel like the deepest loneliness you have ever known. God says you must take this seriously. You are being positioned in a place where heaven wants to open a great door for you. This door is unlike any you have ever walked through before. It is the door to restoration, to healing, to breakthrough, to a destiny that has been locked away because of your hesitation. You have prayed for miracles, cried for answers, begged for intervention, but when the answers come, you close your ears. When the divine speaks, you pretend not to hear. That is why Michael is shaking you now, almost shouting from heaven, because the time for pretending has ended. God says this is the last time he will send this message in this way. The next time, if you ignore it, you will not hear it again, and the blessing that is meant for you will pass on to another. You have asked why life feels like a cycle, why the same heartbreak repeats, why betrayal keeps finding you, why opportunities slip out of your hands. God says it is because you do not obey the promptings of the Spirit. You think you have more time, you think you can delay obedience, you think you can hold on to your own ways while still expecting divine miracles. But God says delay is disobedience, hesitation is rejection, silence is denial. This is why Archangel Michael's tone is fierce, why his message is so sharp. He is telling you that your indecision has already cost you much, and if you do not break the pattern, it will cost you even more. Michael says he has been sent countless times to defend you from forces that wanted to see you destroyed. You have no idea how many nights your name was spoken in the kingdom of darkness, how many traps were set against you, how many times someone wished for your downfall. He says there were nights where you should have lost everything, but because God's hand was upon you, He stood guard over your life. He says your name has been written in fire in the spirit realm, and hell has tried over and over to erase it, but it cannot be erased because God Himself claimed you. But Michael warns that if you keep rejecting the voice of heaven, you give the enemy more and more permission to interfere with your destiny. God says this moment is an ultimatum. You must decide whether you will continue ignoring the voice of heaven or whether you will finally surrender. Michael's tears are real. His grief is deep. He has watched too many of God's children throw away their destiny for comfort, for distraction, for fear, for pride. He does not want you to be one of them. He says you will cry for the rest of your life if you skip this, because you will remember that heaven gave you a chance and you ignored it. You will remember that you were warned, and you will feel the weight of what you lost. But if you listen, if you open your heart, if you humble yourself before God, then the floodgates of heaven will open and you will be covered in blessings so powerful that even your enemies will have to acknowledge that God has chosen you. God says you must not think this is an accident. You did not stumble on these words by chance. You did not find this message randomly. Heaven scheduled this moment for you because your spirit is at a crossroads. You feel the tug of destiny inside you, even when you try to silence it. You know deep down that you were not made to live an ordinary life, that you were called for something greater. That is why your battles have been so intense. That is why you feel like the enemy fights you harder than others. It is because your destiny is heavy, and heaven will not let you walk away from it without a fight. Michael says there is something specific you must know. The tears you cried in secret have been collected in heaven. Every time you wept alone, God was there. Every time you felt misunderstood, heaven understood. Every time you were abandoned, heaven stayed close. Your tears were not wasted, your pain was not unseen. God says those tears are the seeds of your breakthrough. They have been planted in the soil of eternity, and now the harvest is due. But the harvest will only come if you decide to align yourself with heaven today. God says you must pray. You must speak His name with sincerity. You must cry out and let heaven know that you will no longer delay. You must invite Michael to continue guiding and protecting you. You must stop pretending that you have tomorrow guaranteed, because you do not. You only have this moment. This is why Michael said 10 seconds. It is not about counting literal seconds, it is about the brevity of time. Your window is small, your decision is urgent, your obedience cannot wait. God says, if you listen, He will pour out blessings beyond your imagination. He will restore what was stolen, heal what was broken, reveal what was hidden, and give you peace that no one can take away. If you ignore this, you will walk into unnecessary pain, unnecessary regret, unnecessary tears that could have been avoided. Michael's warning is not to scare you but to protect you. It is love speaking with fire. It is mercy speaking with urgency. It is heaven saying, do not waste this chance. This is your moment. This is your calling. This is your final warning before silence. Do not skip this. Do not dismiss this. Do not let your destiny slip through your hands again. God is with you. Michael is speaking to you. Your life depends on this choice. Heaven is watching. The decision is yours. God says this message is not ordinary, and you already feel in your spirit that something is pressing upon your heart in a way that cannot be ignored. Archangel Michael speaks with urgency, and his voice is not casual, not something meant to be brushed aside. He says you will cry for the rest of your life if you continue to ignore the signs, if you continue to push away the hand that has been stretched out to save you. You must understand the seriousness of this moment. Time is not something you control. Opportunities do not remain open forever. He has been reaching to you again and again, whispering, showing, guiding, warning, yet you have delayed, you have doubted, you have convinced yourself that tomorrow is guaranteed, that maybe later you can pay attention. But Michael says there will not always be a later. There will not always be another chance. He is serious because heaven itself is serious about you. God is with you in this very moment. His presence surrounds you, though your eyes may not see it, though your ears may not hear it, your spirit already knows it. You feel the pull inside you, the trembling sense that you must not take this lightly. Michael says he is tired of trying to contact you, tired of warning you when you continue to doubt. He does not speak because of his own pride or his own needs, he speaks because the heavens have seen what lies ahead, and they know the trap set against you. If you ignore, if you push this away, then you will walk blindly into sorrow, into tears, into regret that cannot be undone. God is giving you this message as a lifeline, as a final rope to hold on to before you sink too deep. You only have moments to respond, because the enemy waits eagerly for your hesitation. You have been prayed for, you have been protected even when you did not know it. There were nights when danger stood at your door, but angels stood stronger. There were times when sickness tried to grip your body, but heaven blocked it. There were situations where loss was meant to swallow you, but divine mercy covered you. Yet even in all this, heaven waits for your yes, for your surrender, for your willingness to stop running and stop ignoring. Archangel Michael says this is no joke. This is not another passing word that you can scroll away from. This is your moment. Your tears have been seen, your loneliness has been felt, your struggles have been heard. Heaven does not speak without reason. God says you are safe when you choose Him. Nothing will go wrong with you when you trust and pray. But if you keep ignoring, if you keep postponing, then you walk into the arms of regret. You will cry for the rest of your life not because God wanted it so, but because you chose not to listen when He stretched His hand out to rescue you. Michael says His patience is not endless, not because He does not love you, but because urgency demands your attention now. He has fought battles on your behalf, He has lifted His sword against forces you cannot see, He has shouted your name in the courts of heaven, saying you are worth saving. But now He stands waiting for your answer, waiting for your decision. 10 seconds may sound dramatic, but heaven is showing you how critical this choice is, whether you walk into darkness or step into light. God says He will be with you if you trust Him. Do not be afraid. Do not think you are alone. You are being guided step by step, but your free will must align with divine will. Michael cannot force you. God will not drag you. Love is offered, not imposed. But once it is rejected too many times, the window begins to close. That is why this message comes with such weight. That is why the words feel like fire in your spirit. That is why your heart beats faster even now, because your soul knows the truth. You must respond. You must stop ignoring. The enemy wants you to believe you have endless time. The enemy wants you to believe nothing urgent is happening. But look at your life. Look at the delays, the disappointments, the strange struggles that do not make sense. These are signs that forces are trying to block you, trying to destroy you. Archangel Michael has been protecting you, but his protection is tied to your obedience. If you ignore, if you refuse to listen, then you step outside the shield. That is why he is warning you so fiercely now. He does not want you to lose everything you were meant to carry. He does not want you to suffer the kind of pain that lasts for a lifetime. God says your future is still bright if you trust Him now. He says you will be safe if you choose to surrender, if you choose to pray, if you choose to open your heart fully. The tears of regret can be turned into tears of joy. The sorrow the enemy planned can be turned into victory. The chains meant to bind you can be broken. But it starts here, it starts now, it starts with you deciding not to ignore. Michael's voice is heavy because heaven knows what is at stake. So pray now. Cry out to God with your heart. Say you choose Him. Say you will not ignore anymore. Say you trust Him even if you don't understand everything. God promises nothing will go wrong when you surrender. You will be safe. The trap will collapse. The enemy will be defeated. And Michael will continue to walk with you, to guide you, to protect you. But your yes is required. Your decision is urgent. This message is long because it carries heaven's weight, but even if 10,000 words were spoken, it would still come down to the same truth: you must decide. Michael says he will not keep repeating himself. He is serious. He is waiting. And God, in His mercy, is still giving you this moment. Do not waste it. Do not throw it away. Your life, your destiny, your peace, your joy, all of it is tied to this obedience. Say yes now. Beloved child, hear the voice of heaven calling out to you right now, not in the softness of whispers but in the thunder of divine urgency, because time is not something to be wasted, and your soul has reached a turning point that will mark the rest of your journey. God says, this is not an ordinary moment, not a casual encounter with words, but an appointment written in eternity for you, a moment carefully prepared and guarded by Archangel Michael, who has been battling endlessly in the unseen realms to reach you, to shield you, and to keep your path from being overtaken by shadows you cannot yet see. The urgency is not to frighten you but to awaken you, because you have allowed too many calls from heaven to pass unnoticed, and Michael, with eyes that never close and with wings that burn with holy fire, is crying out with authority, you must not delay anymore. God says, your life is at the edge of something so great, so breathtaking, that if you step into it, blessings will rain upon you like waterfalls from heaven. Yet if you close your eyes and keep ignoring the signs, if you push aside the divine alarms ringing in your heart, you may live with regret that stretches far into your days. Archangel Michael, the mighty warrior who carries the sword of light, has spoken firmly because he sees what you cannot. He has guarded your steps when danger circled around you in silence, when the enemy of your soul tried to weave traps in secret places. Many times you felt an unexplainable tug to turn back, an invisible hand pulling you away from a choice that could have shattered your spirit. Know that it was Him, standing between you and destruction. And yet, how many times have you brushed away the thought, calling it coincidence, or telling yourself you would pray later, listen later, open your heart later? Michael has been patient, but patience has a limit when your destiny hangs in the balance. God says, He is with you, and nothing will harm you, nothing will steal what belongs to you, as long as you stand under His covering. But you must understand, angels do not speak in vain, and warnings do not come without reason. Michael has cried, pleaded, whispered, shouted into the winds of your life, because what is unfolding now is not a small matter, it is a defining moment. The heavens are open, and decisions are being weighed. Your next step will carry the power to shape your future in ways beyond imagination. This is why he says, you only have moments to choose, because delays in the spirit create cracks where doubt, fear, and destruction can enter. God says, you have been chosen for something greater, something that cannot be hidden, and though you feel small at times, though you wonder if you are worthy, He has clothed you in worthiness. You are His vessel, His child, His chosen one, and your life has been written in His book. The enemy has tried desperately to erase your chapter, to silence your song, to steal your blessings, and yet you are still here, because Michael and the armies of heaven have fought battles you never saw. Nights when you could not sleep, when heaviness sat upon your chest, when tears streamed without explanation, those were moments of warfare, and Michael was at your side, pushing back forces that longed to see you fall. He is serious now because the hour is serious. This is why his tone carries urgency, because the windows of destiny do not stay open forever. Beloved, God says, do not let fear paralyze you. Do not let confusion block you. You are safe. You are protected. The words you hear now are not meant to harm you, but to open your eyes. There is a light that wants to flood your path, a blessing that has already been released in heaven waiting for you to claim it. But heaven requires your yes, your surrender, your willingness to act, not tomorrow, not another day when you feel ready, but now. Michael says he will not keep crying out forever, because your free will is respected in the highest courts of heaven. If you choose silence, silence will remain. If you choose to shut your heart, heaven will not force its way inside. That is why he says you will cry for the rest of your life if you skip this, because regret is the heaviest weight for a soul to carry, knowing you could have walked in abundance, in peace, in divine favor, but you turned away in the moment of calling. God says, His hand is stretched toward you. Trust Him. Trust the voice that has never lied, the love that has never failed, the presence that has never abandoned you. Pray now, not later, for prayer is not just words, it is the lifeline that connects you to heaven's power. Pray with all your heart, even if the words are broken, even if you only whisper, God help me, God lead me, God protect me. For every genuine cry is answered, and every sincere surrender opens doors that no power of darkness can close. Archangel Michael stands guard at this very moment, his sword blazing, his wings wrapped like shields around you. He is pleading not because he is weak, but because he loves you with the fierce love of heaven, and he knows what your tomorrow holds. The choice before you is simple but eternal: to trust, to believe, to open your heart to God now.